It's the NRT Insider on NRTV, where we talk directly to the artists about their latest projects, passions, and what's currently driving them in their ministry. Let's go inside on the NRT Insider, exclusively from NewReleaseTuesday.com.
Grand Canyon University. The quality of a private Christian education, the affordability of a state university. Visit gcu.edu.
Going in like my first name is Holiday. Making to lose, I already gave it all away. To the Father pray. You see that money got a mean fade away, leave you with pennies in a auto way. My model stay on that Imago J. Me and my guys finna ride on some auto way.
Life. So when I got saved at 12, this is an epidemic that's across the board, is men. We lack male leadership. And man, so I came home to no men. One, certainly not at my home, and if you're in the urban context, that's 90% of the situation. There's men just aren't at home. The statistics are staggering. I mean, if there's a male Christian in the home, I think it's like 92% of those kids grow to be Christians. If just the mom is in the home and mom is just a Christian, it's like 16% of those children become Christians. So the witness and the loving, direction and shepherding that needs to come from fathers need to be there. Also, male role models and discipleship in the church. So I think I would love to see more churches adopting men and investing in them, young boys that are going to grow to be men. So at 12 years old, I was fiending for a male to pour into me and to just tell me how to read my Bible, show me. What does it mean? When I got home, the first book I read was Revelations. I was like, oh, this looks cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, 7-headed beasts and eyes. I'm like, is this how the whole Bible is? No one was like, don't start there. I had nobody to tell me that. So I had no men walking alongside me, no men just, hey man, how you doing? How can I pray for you? What's going on? So I saw them from a distance, but there wasn't any intentional adopting. And I'm not blaming anyone else, I'm just saying I think that there could be a stronger emphasis on men in the church taking leadership roles and adopting younger dudes to pour into them and disciple them. InterVarsity is an incredible organization that has a specific goal and mission to reach campuses. And so they strategize really well, and opportunities that I got there were ones that were kind of specific to college, but I was able to take the ideas and concepts and extract them and use them at my own local church after I graduated and stuff. So some of them were outreach. I went to the City College of New York, which is the second most diverse university in the nation. I think it's like 110 nations represented and like 90 languages spoken. So I got to interact with people of all different kinds of faith, different kinds of faiths and worldviews on a one-on-one basis, just organizing and going out and engaging people in evangelism. I was also given opportunities to lead Bible studies and have people disciple me, show me how to lead Bible studies. So they have tons of small group material that help, equip leaders to lead small groups, and now that's what I do for my church primarily. I help organize small groups, and so the opportunities there in my dorm, I was starting up small groups there, and I became the chapter president and got to really invest in my campus and see leaders grow out of that. So it was a real specific mission. InterVarsity's right for the local campuses, but it was an awesome time of development and growth for me as a leader. After I graduated college, I moved to Washington Heights in New York. I live in New York City, and so I moved uptown into Washington Heights, the northern part of Manhattan, to plant a church there with my buddy Rich Perez. And the idea was that we would live in intentional communities uptown Manhattan, so that we could live in the same place and be close to the place where we're actually planting the church. That way we get to know the people. We get to know the people at the laundromat. You know, you get to know the people at the corner store, the bodegas, all that. And so what that begins to do is that begins to create familiarity with faces and longevity. So they get to not only hear the gospel you preach, but see the life you live.
Clicked up, we ain't trying to be famous. People forget it, they don't know just what the aim is. Dangerous, what you gonna say to some men who been changed, who know that to die is their gain? Yeah, you know what it's like, you know what it's like. Getting ready for the moment, getting ready for the night. When I'm getting ready for that moment, when my faith will be sight. What's the point of getting fly if you ain't ready for the flight? From this life to the one that'll follow. Dudes on bravado at the bottom of the bottle until they got
my concert tonight, and I think that long-term crock pot style is very fruitful. I think short-term is too, but I think that the emphasis is it's sexy. Short-term evangelism is sexy. It's like, ooh, I went to this country and I did this for 2 weeks and I came home and then I never had to see those people again, you know. But the hard part is, I think, sometimes staying in front of those people, having them fail you, you fail them, asking for reconciliation, you know what I'm saying, apologizing, bringing them, you know, walking through life with them. So that's some of my emphasis. So Come Alive for me, we all actually did a verse on this song, and the aspect that I approached the song with was my faith is touching everything, every aspect of life, which is really kind of the theme, which is the call for all of us, you know, on the tour, is to say, hey man, our faith should affect the way, our worldview, so meaning the way that we see everything that we interact with, the way that we speak to our wives, you know what I'm saying, our friends, our family, the way that we live when we're away from home, away from our community, the way that we live when we're at home, the way that we pursue education, the way that we spend our money, the way that we give it away. And so one thing that moved my heart is I want people to come alive to the local missions, like local missions, the stuff that we need to see happen right here in our backyard. I think we get really excited about overseas missions. Our idea of mission period is that, you know, you go to some foreign country for 2 weeks and, you know, that's it, and then you come back home. And there's not much teaching or much thrust for local community, long-term crock pot missions and evangelism. So I think sometimes the short-term missions, although they're great, I think they do more for the missionary than the actual place they're trying to reach, because you don't get enough time to get acclimated to culture, to understand the people, where they're from, their dialect, their lingo, their cultural values, and how to, you know, bring Jesus into that. So in my set you'll hear tonight, I'm calling people to come alive, to, you know, be lights in their city.
Misfits, blessing those who hate us, praise you in our affliction. The way they see us love one another is our distinction. They take you off our dollars and out the Pledge of Allegiance, but they'll never take praise out the mouth of believers in my city. That's where God belongs, in my city. 'Cause you own it anyway.
I'm really intrigued and love the conversation of art and faith as a whole, and I think this has been on my heart recently because of just a few of the situations I've seen and some of the articles that have been released and different conversations around what's happening here with this movement. And that is, there's going to be people with different methods that are on the same mission, you know, to share Jesus with the world and to display him in a dark place. And missions is going to look different, you know, in every context. And I think it's going to be really important for us going forward, as more opportunities are opening up for guys like Lecrae to be in major platforms that aren't Christian. I think there's going to be an urgency for the body at large to recognize, you know, that this is a good thing, that Jesus has called us to be lights in a dark place. He's called us to be living stones, meaning, you know, being living witnesses among the marketplace of ideas. and to keep people like Lecrae, you know, and us as we move forward in prayer, that we would not lose sight of the mission to make Jesus known, that we would not compromise our values, and that there wouldn't be a sense of quick to judgeness in the midst of that, you know, that there would be, hey man, I don't understand why you would go into this bar or club and be around these people. Why would you do that? You know, there's not as much, hey, why? Teach me. It's more of, how dare you? You know, and so we catch a lot of that. And I would just love to see more thought and more engagement as the arts are being used to engage people, you know, that would never step foot into a church, you know, or into, you know, a small group or Bible study. And so we really feel passionate about this avenue of music, to use it for the glory of God in a place that, you know, isn't in a dark industry that's not giving glory to Him as they ought. And so, yeah, we're all on the same team for the most part, and I think that we should be gentle and cautious as we navigate that world. So.
1-6 saying, hey, come and kick it with the team. The party's over here, let me show you what I mean. We saying, I'm on that 116. Homie, come and get right, show you what the crib's like. Come and kick it with the team. The party's over here, let me show you what I mean. We saying, I'm on that 116. You can come and get right, let me show you what that clip like.
I started rapping as a joke.